Hey there friends, Brittany here, board certified holistic health practitioner, and I view everything through a functional medicine perspective. So I just wanted to ask, do you ever wonder why more and more kids are having chronic health issues younger and younger, especially neurological issues? Well, one piece to the puzzle is food. Food is medicine, food is fuel, food is information, and has the power to turn on and off your genes. So where am I going with this? Well, I want to show you how misleading food labels can be, and it's seriously criminal how the food industry allows this. It's quite sickening. So quick story, we went to Albertsons late one night. This was a while back. And they have a handful of clean foods there, and I just needed to get some things from my husband last minute for work. So while we were there in the chip aisle, my son was just walking through and these caught his attention, and he's like, "Oh, these chips look good." So I said, "Let's check out the ingredients." And I have taught my kids to always read the ingredients, and they're really good and can spot out what's good or bad. But what I brought to my son's attention was that these were supposed to be guac chips. Okay, so this is what led for me to share this video and go over this product for just one example, but so many products have these misleading labels. So just keep in mind that this is just one out of thousands of packaged foods, and they all contain one or more of these ingredients. Okay, so here we go. So as you've already seen, these are the Tostitos guacamole chips. I am going to break down every single ingredient listed on here, okay? So bear with me, it is worth it to the end. So the first ingredient we have here is corn. All right, so corn, over 90% of corn is genetically modified, okay? And the main reason that these crops are genetically modified is to make them resistant to herbicides. So many of the genetically modified crops are engineered to produce the insecticide Bt toxin. Okay, so Bt toxin is not fully degraded in the digestive tract. Animal feeding experiments with genetically modified Bt crops have revealed toxic effects, and a laboratory study showed toxic effects on human cells tested in vitro. Not only that, Bt toxins circulating in the blood of non-pregnant and pregnant women were found, and in the blood supply of their fetuses. There were more studies that reveal that GMO corn destroys the intestinal lining of mice, causing absorption problems and leaky gut. So, and not only that, it's a carcinogen. So all of that into corn, just a quick run through of corn, and it is best to avoid. The next on the list is vegetable oil. So vegetable oil contains BHT and BHA. So these are artificial preservatives for fats and oils, and many people struggle to metabolize these preservatives adequately. And studies have shown these to cause cancer in rats. So chronic disease such as heart disease and cancer and kidney problems, Alzheimer's, and immune disorders have increased steadily with the increase in vegetable oil consumption, okay? And in addition, the type of fat molecules in vegetable oil, which is your omega-6s, can make our bodies more sensitive to the effects of electromagnetic radiation. So I did make a video all about EMFs. I highly recommend you watch that. But continuing on about vegetable oil, so studies have shown that the incidence of depression has paralleled with the increase of vegetable and seed oil intake, so those omega-6 fats, okay? So if you are consuming too much of the omega-6 fatty acids, which is just too many vegetable oils and grains, that can interfere with the absorption of your omega-3 fats. And the excessive consumption of those trans fatty acids and hydrogenated fats interfere with that essential fatty acid utilization. So in other words, America is eating way too much omega-6s and not enough omega-3s, and the ratio is way out of balance. And next we have maltodextrin. So this is an ingredient that it's a mystery unless it's listed, but it can be genetically modified sugar or genetically modified corn or wheat. And all of these are highly inflammatory and problematic. And sugar alone, studies have shown it to be 8 times more addictive than cocaine. So there are addictive ingredients in almost every product on the shelf. It's really, really unfortunate. So you definitely want to avoid maltodextrin. The next ingredient is salt. So table salt, it's heavily processed. It's stripped of all its nutrients in exchange for chemicals. So pink Himalayan salt or Celtic salt or true sea salt, those are all going to be better options and beneficial. Your body needs it, but not toxic table salt. The next one, I'm kind of just jumping around here. The next one is tomato powder. So tomatoes are not organic, meaning that they are going to be heavily sprayed with glyphosate, which is that pesticide, herbicide that they're spraying all the produce with, and that's a whole other video that I got to touch on glyphosate, but it wrecks your gut, and it was originally created to clean pipes, but yet they're spraying it on all of our produce, and it's been linked to cancer, and there's lawsuits and all these things. So that's why it really is important to get as much organic as possible. So tomato powder, not organic, it's heavily sprayed with glyphosate. It's also a nightshade, which can be problematic for a lot of individuals as well. So I'm clumping together the cheddar cheese, the butter, the Swiss cheese, the whey, the cream, the sour cream, all of this dairy. So these conventionally raised cows are pumped with antibiotics, pumped with hormones, and fed genetically modified grain. And God did not create cows to eat genetically modified grain. God made cows to eat grass. So you take an account to all of these things into this conventionally raised cow and this dairy, and that is very inflammatory to the body. Dairy is also a mucogenic food, so it just creates that mucus and phlegm, and that's an immediate response for some people. Up next will be the artificial colors. So yellow 5-lake, blue 1-lake, yellow 6-lake, all of these artificial dyes, every single one of them, not just the red one. They're all man-made, petroleum-based, they're banned in other countries. They have no nutritional value, and they are linked to cancer and ADHD. So these dyes cause physical metabolic disruptions as well as psychological reactions. So if your child is having outbursts of rage or even closes off one extreme to the next, anything behavior-wise is what I'm talking about. First thing is to eliminate these dyes, and of course high fructose corn syrup too, but that's another thing. But eliminate these dyes. It makes a big difference. Next is going to be natural flavors. That sounds good, right? Like, oh, it's natural. Well, not so fast. So natural flavors can contain chemicals, carrier solvents, and preservatives. And they could be made from just about anything other than petroleum. So natural and artificial flavors aren't actually all that different from one another. So both of them are usually made in the lab, but artificial flavors are derived from petroleum and other substances that we can't eat, but natural flavors are generally produced from natural sources. But on a chemical level, natural and artificial flavors are often the same molecules. So the only difference is the process and the raw ingredients they're made from, more than the actual end product. So common chemicals that are hidden under the name natural flavor, quote unquote natural, with known effects are the following. So I'm going to list all of these. So these are all hidden under the name natural flavor, okay? So the first one is diacetyl. So this one is best known as a natural butter flavoring. And exposure to this vapor, this diacetyl vapor over time in microwave popcorn facilities the workers developed abnormal lung function and shortness of breath. So that alone should raise some red flags. Another name that can hide behind natural flavor is MSG. So the most popular excitotoxin out there is MSG, and this is a flavor enhancer. And MSG has been linked with obesity and metabolic disorder. It has neurotoxic effects and causes reproductive organ damage. So we definitely want to avoid MSG as well. Another name under natural flavor would be citral, and this one is best known for its use as a natural lemon flavoring. And citral is a skin and mucous membrane irritant, so definitely don't want that. The next name to add under natural flavors would be methyl N-acetyl anthranilate. Okay, so this is used as a natural berry flavoring. So this one has been shown to cause phototoxicity in some people, and what this means is that when consumption of this chemical is combined with exposure to the sun, it can cause sensitivity to the skin, so leaving you with a rash. So definitely not good. Next on the list, hiding under natural flavors, would be castoreum. Okay, so this one has been used for strawberry flavored foods and drinks. And I'm not sure you're aware, but castoreum is an anal secretion from beavers. And it's used to mark their territories. And it also happens to smell like vanilla. So I don't think that's very pleasant to have in your food, but I guess I'll leave that up to you. And last but not least, if you experience an allergic reaction after eating a quote unquote naturally flavored food, it may very well be because the natural flavors, the manufacturers aren't required to disclose if those natural flavors has milk or if it contains eggs, wheat, soy, fish, shellfish, peanuts, or tree nuts. So just keep that in mind. So touching on artificial flavors, which is better known as methyl eugenol, it's recognized as a carcinogen under California's Proposition 65 law. And this is after rats that inhaled the chemical were shown to have an increased risk of cancer. So it is a carcinogen. Another one of the many artificial flavoring agents in foods is pyridine, which is a colorless liquid found in cooked bacon, fried chicken, and even tobacco smoke. So in 1995, the Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry reported 2 epileptic patients who developed liver and kidney damage after consuming pyridine. So you have to understand that foods high in dyes or any artificial flavors all embed themselves in the liver. So a toxic gut, a toxic liver, parasites, heavy metals, chemicals, deficiencies, and emotional traumas, that is what leads to chronic illness. And that's what we're seeing all around us. We have to take control of what goes into our mouths. Food is first. Food is foundational. If you can't get past food, then there really is no point in moving into the deeper cellular work that needs to be done if you cannot get food down. It's foundational. So it is no one's fault for trusting the food industry and thinking that what they make is safe, because it should be so, right? But unfortunately, that's not the case. You have seen it for yourself, how toxic these ingredients are and how misleading the labels can be. So remember that these chips were guac chips, right? Right, that's what it said, but there was no avocado in the bag. None. Many of the ingredients in this bag of chips are banned in other countries, but not here. So that should make you stop and question. Just stop and think about it. And also, quick tip, it's not about calories or counting macros or diet this or diet that. It's all about real clean ingredients. Just read the ingredients. The less, the better. Make sure you can pronounce them. Make sure you know what it is. But I'm telling you guys, it starts with the food you eat. That's the foundation to good health. Love you all and talk to you soon.